Hello students, welcome to my talk on inter-industry trade. This is a part of the MOOC course of International Economics. So coming to the introduction of inter-industry trade. Now talking about inter-industry trade. What is inter-industry trade? Inter-industry trade arises in order to take advantages of the economies of scale, market imperfections and varieties of product. Inter-industry trade benefits the consumers because of the wider range of choices available at lower prices due to the economies of scale in the economy. It also stimulates innovation in the country. Again, in other words, we can say that inter-industry trade refers to the exchange of similar products belonging to the same industry. The term is usually applied in international trade where the same types of goods and services are imported and exported. The intra-industry trade arises because of the economies of scale, product differentiation in a monopolistic competition market, division of labor, rapid economic growth, globalization, etc. Hence, in other words, intra-industry trade refers to the exchange of similar products belonging to the same industry across countries. Unlike inter-industry trade, which involves exchanging goods of different industries, for example, wine for textiles, intra-industry trade involves trading similar goods such as cars for cars, steel for steel, etc. For example, if we say that Germany exports BMWs to Japan while importing Toyotas, or France exports wine to Italy and imports the same quantity again, that is Italian wine. Now coming to the characteristics of inter-industry trade. Now the first characteristic is that it is a two-way trade. This involves the simultaneous export and import of goods within the same industry. Secondly, differentiated products. Mostly it is common in industries where products are differentiated by features such as quality, branding, or customization. Thirdly, high income economies. Intra-industry trades is more prevalent among the developed countries with similar levels of industrialization and consumer preferences. Now coming to the various types of inter-industry trade. The first one is horizontal inter-industry trade. This involves trade in similar goods with differences in features or branding. For example, export of mid-size cars with different brands. Second one is the vertical intra-industry trade. This involves trade in goods differentiated by quality or the production stage. For example, export of high-ended clothing and import of mass market textiles. Now, coming to the various measurements of intra-industry trade. Now, Global Lloyd Index. This is the most important index which is used to measure this intra-industry trade. This GLI measures the proportion of intra-industry trade in total trade for a specific industry. The formula goes as such: GLI is equal to 1 minus moduli of x minus m divided by x plus m, where x is the exports of the product and m stands for the import of a product. Now, if we are to give the interpretation, if the GLI is 1, all trade is intra-industry. And if the GLI is equals to 0, all trade is inter-industry. Coming to the various benefits of intra-industry trade. The first one is increased variety of consumers. It has access to a broader range of products. Secondly, economies of scale. Firms achieve cost efficiencies by specializing. Thirdly, enhanced competition. It leads to innovation and improved product quality. Fourthly, market stability. Reduces risk associated with supply shocks of trade disputes. Now we come to the various limitations of intra-industry trade. Geographic and income barriers. So first limitation is that there is less prominent between countries with large economic disparities. So countries with various large economic disparities, this intra-industry trade does not operate properly. Secondly, industry-specific nature. Intra-industry trade is concentrated in certain industries, limiting in global applicability. So for some industries it is applicable and for some industries it cannot be applied. Now let me give you some empirical examples. For example, the automobile industry. Supposing US imports European luxury cars and exports SUVs. Secondly, in the technology sector, supposing South Korea and Japan exchanges semiconductors and consumer electronics. Also in the sphere of fashion, for example, Italy exports high-ended fashion and importing affordable textiles from other European countries. Now let us discuss certain policy implications. Now, the first policy is that of trade agreements. This intra-industry trade supports regional trade blocs, for example, the European Union, where product differentiation flourishes. Secondly, tariff reductions. Intra-industry trade benefits from lower trade barriers since the focus is on specialization and consumer variety. Now let us see certain future trends of this intra-industry trade. Global value chains. This helps in increasing the integration of production stages across countries and enhances this vertical intra-industry trade. The second trend is the digital trade. In the world of digitalization, e-commerce facilitates easier exchange of differentiated products. The third one is sustainability focus. So green technology industries are likely to exhibit this growing intra-industry trade. Coming to the conclusion, intra-industry trade hence demonstrates the complexities of global commerce and go beyond traditional notions of comparative advantage. Its prevalence in advanced economies underscores the importance of product differentiation, economies of scale, and consumer preferences in shaping modern trade patterns. By understanding intra-industry trade, policymakers can design trade agreements that foster innovation, economic integration, and consumer satisfaction. So, in this part, basically we learned about what actually is inter-industry trade with certain various examples, the various characteristics such as two-way trade, differentiated products, high-income economies, the different types of intra-industry trade which goes as horizontal inter-industry trade and the vertical intra-industry trade, the measurement which is measured by the GLI index which is used to measure the extent of intra-industry trade, the various benefits of intra-industry trade starting from economies of scale, enhanced competition, market stability, etc., and certain limitations of intra-industry trade such as geographical and income barriers, industry-specific nature, and with this, there are also we have learned about the various policy implications which can be used in trade agreements, tariff reductions, and certain future trends of intra-industry trade. Now, let us understand about the significance of this intra-industry trade. Intra-industry trade involves the exchange of similar products within the same industry between countries. So if one country exports cars, the other country also should export cars. Unlike inter-industry trade, which is driven by comparative advantage, intra-industry trade is rooted in product differentiation, economies of scale, and consumer demand for variety. Its significance lies in the transformative effects it has on trade dynamics, economic integration, industrial policy, and consumer choice. Now, let us understand certain key aspects of intra-industry trade's significance. Now, the first one is economic efficiency and specialization. The first one is under this category is economies of scale. Firms specialize in producing distinct varieties of a product, leading to lower production costs. So when firms specialize in producing a distinct variety, obviously it has a lower production cost in that particular commodity. For example, we can say that countries like Germany and Japan trade cars, which actually they specialize in. Now the second one is improved resource allocation. Intra-industry trade allows countries to exploit specialization within industries rather than between them. So countries do not specialize between them, rather they specialize in the particular industries in which they have their advantage. Resources are directed towards niches where firms are most competitive. Coming to the second significance, the consumer benefits. The first one under this category is increased variety. Intra-industry trade enables access to diverse products from multiple countries. Example, European consumers can consume between Italian wines and French wines. Secondly, better quality. There is obviously competitive pressure from inter-industry trade which leads to improved product quality. For example, the global smartphone market continuously innovates to meet the international competition. So with this international competition, always there is a pressure for improved product quality. The third significance goes for economic integration. The first point under this is stronger trade relations. Intra-industry trade fosters better trade between countries with similar levels of development and economic structure. If I am to give you an example, European Union member states engage in extensive intra-industry trade in machinery, vehicles, and chemicals. The second one is reduced trade conflicts. Countries engaged in intra-industry trade are less likely to impose trade barriers because they both export and import similar products. So when they export similar products, these trade barriers are less likely to exist. The fourth significance is industrial development. The first one under this category is innovation and research and development, that is R&D. Now under this, we can say that there is competition within the industries which stimulates innovation in the different countries. Example, rivalry in the automotive industry spurred advancements in electrical vehicle technology. The second is the global value chains. Intra-industry trade facilitates the development of global value chains where production processes are shared across countries. For example, the electronics industry where components are sourced globally but not assembled locally. The fifth significance is of macroeconomic stability. Under this category, the first point is diversification. Under this category, the first point is diversification and trade. Intra-industry trade reduces reliance on a single type of product or trade partner. For example, if one trade flow is disrupted, others can mitigate the impact, providing stability. Second one, resilience to economic shocks. The balanced two-way trade cushions economies against demand and supply side disruptions. Example, intra-EU trade remained relatively stable during the global trade fluctuations. Now let us understand the various implications of this trade policy. The first one is reduction of tariffs and barriers. Intra-industry trade thrives the environments with low trade barriers, pushing for liberal trade policies. Example, the regional trade agreements like NAFTA or the EU prioritize tariff elimination. Secondly, we can say there is focus on comparative advantage. Under this category, we can say that the policymakers support industries where firms can specialize in unique product varieties. Example, the government subsidies for advanced manufacturing and technology sectors. The third one is regional economic integration. Intra-industry trade plays a central role in trade blocs by promoting mutual benefits among similar economies. Example, the ASEAN, that is ASEAN's focus on machinery and electronic trade among member states. Now let us discuss the various limitations of intra-industry trade. The first one is economic disparities. Now, intra-industry trade is less prevalent in trade between developed and developing countries due to differences in industrial capacity. Second stands for industry concentration. The intra-industry trade is concentrated in capital-intensive industries, limiting its benefits for labor-intensive sectors. Dependency risks. Now, there is heavy reliance of intra-industry trade in certain industries that can make economies vulnerable to global demand shocks. Coming to the conclusion, we can ultimately conclude that the significance of intra-industry trade lies in its ability to reshape global trade by focusing on specialization, innovation, and consumer benefits. It is a cornerstone of modern trade dynamics, especially in developed economies, promoting economic stability, integration, and growth. While it has limitations, nevertheless, intra-industry trade remains a vital mechanism for fostering international cooperation and economic advancement. So in this part, we actually discussed about what is the significance of intra-industry trade. It has various significances like economic efficiency and stabilization, or we can say various consumer benefits, economic integration, industrial development, macroeconomic stability, so on and so forth. We also discussed the various implications of trade policy, being reduction in tariff barriers, regional economic integration, etc. Also, certain limitations such as economic disparities, industrial concentration, dependency risk were discussed in my later part of the discussion. So with this, we can overall sum up that we have learned about what actually is intra-industry trade, how different it is from inter-industry trade, its various implications, limitations, and its significance. So thank you for watching.